Welcome, Jennifer, and thanks for coming back to the vault.
Thank you for having me.
We are going to be discussing right sizing today and the timing and intricacies of the planning process. So typically, Jennifer, our clients are coming to us sometimes 6 months beforehand, sometimes a year, sometimes 2. They're coming to us in advance and we're talking about what their eventual right size will look like. What do you think about the timing of that?
You know, I find it's never too early to start a discussion around right sizing, and it actually is a conversation that I think is happening sooner than later nowadays. Taking into consideration, you know, a very healthy real estate market, buying a property and using it as an investment property for the next 3 to 5 years, and being able to have someone else paying down that mortgage obligation right until they're ready to retire into the home. It's a great new strategy that we've got, and how we go about that is by using the equity in the existing primary residence and being able to pull from that for the down payment for the new property. So it's been a fantastic strategy for a lot of clients, and the earlier people start planning for it, I think the better.
So people are getting a head start, getting that property into place, having that create some cash flow.
Absolutely.
And as well, recognizing that the value is appreciating.
And it actually helps too, because as we see more and more properties in the area, you know, a client may look at it and say, I want to live here. Why not prepare for it? They're just not ready to do it now. So it's a fantastic idea to look at the planning process and implementing it today so that their retirement is that much simpler when it comes.
Have things a little more planned out.
Absolutely.
In advance. Perfect.
Yes. So what I do find when I'm meeting with clients, some of the common questions I have from them is, from a real estate perspective, what should they look for? What is that right sizing property look like for majority of people?
Right. So retirement communities are very, very popular. Mm-hmm. So outside of the GTA, probably just because of a cost factor, right? So if somebody has a golfing lifestyle, or they've got a lifestyle where they're into boating, you know, moving out to the outskirts where it's more cost effective. So we're seeing a lot of that. Early retirees tend to want to go from their big family home down to a bungalow. They're not quite ready to make the transition right to a condo setting. So that's another big trend. And then of course condos are very popular. There's a lot of options, a lot of locations, and you know, condo living has become so much more with all the amenities in the buildings. And then lastly, we're seeing a trend where multi-generational are coming together. So the right size could be one of the parents purchasing like a duplex, a semi, side-by-side semi, or something that's multi-unit. The adult children are on one side and the parents are on the other. So we've seen that come up a few times.
And I actually think it's a fantastic idea, and we're seeing that more and more now because of the new rules of the stress test. It's harder for first-time homebuyers to get in, or even second-time homebuyers in a lot of cases. So we see a lot of merging of families and being able to utilize this strategy. There's a lot of information around the stress test, and it tends to be something that people have questions on. This strategy helps people kind of bulk in their finances together and be able to be close to family, which I think is extremely important. So what we tend to do with the right sizing process is to look at what the existing home is valued at and be able to take equity out of it by way of either line of credit or mortgage, use that as a down payment towards the next property. And so that next right sized property, we put 80% of the value of the mortgage, or 80% of the value of that home in a mortgage that allows that client to get a tenant to be able to cover that off. It's a fantastic idea. And at the time of selling the primary residence, we make sure that there's a strategy in place to avoid as much cost as possible and be able to pay off all of those debts at that particular time. So it's a fantastic idea and allows people to choose where they want to live now in future. So Deborah, when I sit into meetings with clients that are meeting with their financial planner at RBC, one of the things that comes up as part of the conversation is, you know, what does lifestyle look like in retirement? You know, what do they want it to be? How do you think that plays a role in finding a property? What should they be looking for?
Sure. And we are approaching it that way, from the perspective of it's not for today, it's for the future. And so we focus on location, kind of hone in on the various communities that they are interested in. And maybe it comes down to 1 or 2 communities that we need to explore and take further. Obviously budget is going to be a big predictor,
Yes.
right? So we have to keep that in mind. We're going to look also at amenities, is there hospitals, transit, all of those things. Walk scores, you're going to be on foot probably more. Maybe you're going to downsize a couple of cars, go down to 1 car. You're going to be walking, you want everything convenient and easy for you. If they have the luxury, I always recommend take a short-term rental in the location that you think you might want to land in. Airbnb is everywhere right now, so why not go there and try the community out for a couple of months and see if it's something that is for sure, what you want.
It's so important to do that because you don't know if you're gonna like the area or not. What a great idea.
Yeah. So if a right size is something you're thinking about for right now or 3 years from now, you do need to come out to our event. Jennifer and I are hosting an event this spring, and it's going to be a great night, and we can go through everything we talked about here today and discuss it absolutely what your needs are for the future. Look forward to it, and details to be found at deborahbrown.ca.